Hey, welcome back to another episode of Mr. Kennedy's World History. Today we're going to talk about Unit 0, Historical Background Knowledge of Culture. And so in the last lesson we learned about some foundational information about the 6 major cultures of the post-classical era. And so today we're going to look at them on a map to understand where they began, and then we're going to talk about how they spread and where they spread to leading up to the year 1200. And so let's get started. And so first we're going to begin with the 3 Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And so first we'll look at where they started. And so Judaism began in the land of Canaan, so modern day Israel, in Jerusalem. And Jerusalem has been the capital of, or the center of, the Jewish world since its inception. And then the second of the Abrahamic religions is Christianity. Now, Christianity began in the same area as Judaism, so around Jerusalem. But by the year 600 to 1200, we see Christianity spreading. By the end of the Roman Empire, and much so after the collapse of the Roman Empire, we see it spreading and propagating all over southern Europe, and even into northern Europe. And so now its capital, or its center of culture, is in Rome. And the last of the Abrahamic religions is Islam. Islam began in the Arabian Peninsula around the year 630. And so we have the cities of Mecca and Medina. So remember that Mecca is slightly to the south of Medina. Now we move further east to the Eastern world with the 3 major cultures, that of Hinduism, Buddhism, and Confucianism. And so Hinduism and Buddhism began in the same geographic region, northern and southern India. And then we have Confucianism. Confucianism began around the year 200 BCE with Confucius in eastern China. And by the year between the years 600 to 1200, in this post-classical era, we see Confucianism being a major cultural development of not only parts of China, but also in Korea and Japan. And so stay tuned for the second part of this lesson. Once again, this is Mr. Kennedy's World History. Thank you. Trans-Saharan Trade Network. So the Trans-Saharan Trade Network connects the Arabian Peninsula with Northern Africa and eventually West Africa. And so as we lead up to the year 1200, we see Muslim merchants emerging in West Africa much more frequently than ever before. And we'll see at the beginning of that Unit 1 some of the innovations that allowed for the Trans-Saharan Trade Network to be able to flourish during that time period was the development of caravans and the use of camels, which require little water compared to some of their other long distance animals that were used for travel and trade. And so in this Trans-Saharan Trade Network, the major culture that's being spread across the Saharan Desert is that of Islam. And we'll see eventually in Unit 1 of AP World History that Islam plays a key role in the development of those West African kingdoms. And so this last one, the Indian Ocean Trade Network. So the Indian Ocean Trade Network really starts to build up steam in the post-classical period. And the Indian Ocean Trade Network connects a variety of different geographic locations. And so I'm going to point to those on the map. So Indian Ocean Trade Network connects the Arabian Peninsula with East Africa, as we see here, the lines drawn here. So the Swahili coast, the Swahili city-states, and the Great Zimbabwe. So from Muslim merchants to go to East Africa, and then they have to wait for the monsoon winds. And so that at certain times of the year, the winds will blow in a certain direction. So certain times of the year, you'll have a favorable wind system that will take merchants, sailors, and travelers from East Africa to the subcontinent of India. And then at a different time of the year, there's a 3-month period where the winds will take you from the subcontinent back to East Africa. And so nonetheless, this is a triangular trade system I would call it. Now, we also have East Asia, Southeast Asia that's connected to that. But at first, before I incorporate Southeast Asia into the mix, I really want to focus on these three geographic locations in this Indian Ocean trade network. And so, what are the dominant cultures that are being spread here, or the dominant culture, and that is Islam. Islam is spreading from the Arabian Peninsula into East Africa. And so because of this, because of the time delay in which merchants can go from East Africa to the subcontinent, they're there for a very long time, sometimes 3 to 6 months, sometimes indefinitely.